Welcome to The Art Show, where every week we bring you funny, irreverent, and pithy views on culture, society, and anything else we can think of. Once a week, the focus is on the weird things going on in America or the world. And once a week, a show dedicated to entertainment, music, theme parks, and live shows. So sit back, relax, and wait for the entertainment to begin. Catch us on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify under The Art Show, and on Twitter at The Art Show PCast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Art Show. And today we're going to be talking about the new Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's out by TMZ. And basically, it's kind of an interview, it's not really a movie. And it's called Arnold and Sly Rivals, Friends, and Icons. Um, One of the interesting bits about this is that apparently early on in their careers, they sort of used each other to motivate each other to make better and more awesome movies, depending on how you look at that. But there's a bit in there that I thought was interesting, and it was about in 1977 is when Rocky came out. So many of you are probably familiar with Rocky. I know it won the Golden Globes that year for Best Picture, and I can't remember if it won the Academy Award or not for Best Picture. I think it did. Um, but at any rate, that came out in '77. Arnold had a big movie that came out at the same time, and so they were at the Golden Globe Awards, and apparently Arnold received the Best New Actor award, and Stallone didn't take kindly to that, and being childish, he threw like a decoration of flowers at him or whatever it was. I don't think it was, maliciously intended to like hit him because it didn't. And fortunately, nobody was hurt in the thing. But I was, I was thinking of that, and they were recalling that incident in there, and I thought, man, what are they like 7 years old? It's like okay, rivalry one thing, childish is quite another. But at any rate, apparently they're friends, and I don't know if good friends, whatever. They're friends. So, but they use that for motivation. I know that you're probably familiar with most of Arnold's movies wrap around the Terminator, and I don't remember. I don't know exactly how many of those there were. There maybe four or five. Um, I like the first one. Not so hip on the second. This last one that they did, a couple of years ago. Maybe it was 3 years ago. Who can tell? COVID screws up my memory banks. Um, but that one I liked too. I thought that was pretty good. That wasn't bad. The Rocky movies, I never was a Rocky fan. I never really liked that movie at all. It just seemed too schmaltzy to me. But back in 1977, there was an element, of the American dream of people pulling themselves up by their bootstraps and making it the heavyweight champion of the world kind of thing, which were cool movies. I like those kinds of movies. I just wasn't a big fan of Rocky. I, I did see it. I mean, I saw it once, but I didn't. It's not like a thing I watch a billion times. And honestly, I have not even seen any of the other Rockies. I don't know how many they made. It's like they made a billion, and a lot of them Stallone is not in, um, which is obvious because it'd be way too much as you get older to be in that that role. um, it's like George Foreman coming back to fight at 50 or something, in those days. And while it might make for somewhat interesting movie making, it doesn't really, drag too many people's attention in there. Um, so you have the Rocky movies, oh, and the Rambo movies, and don't forget Stallone had all of those great Rambo movies. Um, that came out. I like the Rambo ones; those were pretty good. But part of what their motivation they said for each other was, wow, Stallone killed 82 people in one movie, so I'm going to kill 97 in the next one, and I need a bigger gun than what that guy had in the last one. So pretty soon they're walking around through the jungle with these gargantuan guns that look, like 12 guns all packaged together, and that they should weigh 7,000 pounds. And so it looks a little comical when you see these like large, huge, massive weapons that they're just blowing things to hell all over the place. Like look at that, I could blow up a single building with this gun in a shot, and you know there are always just a lot of mayhem in those things. So obviously, why they call them action movies. Uh, but part of the thing that they mentioned in there too is that you know Stallone says, "Oh yeah, it's like two alpha guys getting together, and and that's kind of what happens." But I'm not sure I really buy into those two guys as being alpha guys. Clint Eastwood is an alpha guy. Bruce Willis is an alpha guy, and those guys are just good actors. You know, Stallone and Schwarzenegger, they have their thing, and they've done different things. Obviously, there aren't action movies, but I never particularly liked those either. Even though I think there are people that do, but I was never a big fan of all of that stuff. And I never really got Stallone's accent. Where's he from? Is he like the Bronx, or is that Philadelphia? Is that Philly? Obviously he did not take the Steinberg School of Acting. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane, because he can't do that. I mean, his accent is so deep you can't even figure out what he's saying half of the time. And the same with Schwarzenegger. I think he's Austrian, right? Austrian accent, but it sounds like Austrian and I don't know some other thing inside there like French. It's like, oh man, you've been in the U.S. a long time. You'd think some of that would go away, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. But you hear a lot of people whose accents do go away that are bilingual. So whatever. I don't want to dig too much into that. I just thought this whole thing about the Arnold and Sly was kind of an amusing thing, and it's going to be on TMZ, so I'll give them a shameless plug, even though they don't pay me any money. They're still getting a plug from me. TMZ presents Arnold and Sly, and I think it's either already aired or it's going to air next week. I can't remember, but I think it's going to be on Fox, I think. So you might check it out. I'm sure they're going to play some reruns of it somewhere. So if you want to check that out, you'll be able to go catch that. Um, at any rate, that's all for today, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.